Hey, what's going on everybody? EnteR ChazmaN here, and I think you know what time it is.
What time is it?
That's right, we are out of July and a bit into August, so that means it's time for another monthly video game pickups video. You might be asking, ChazmaN, how did July go? Why, thank you for asking, you beautiful viewer. July was actually a really interesting month. I picked up a lot of titles of games that will definitely be played and shown on my channel. They'll also look good on my shelf. But before I do prop them up and make them look good on my shelf, I do want to show them to you and talk about the games, and also talk about whether that specific game is something I'm going to touch on in the future. Okay, well, enough beating around the bush. Let's go ahead and get into my video game pickups for the month of July. With the absolute softest of starts, I picked up the game Game Party in Motion for the Xbox 360. It is a party game that was developed by Farsight Studios and published by Warner Brothers. I picked it up from a local pawn shop for only maybe $2, and it's only retailing for about $6 as well. Yeah, I'm not gonna say I'll never play this game, but I'll just leave it at that. And if you guys would like to see otherwise, comment down below. Next up, I picked up the game Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter for the Xbox 360. It is a shooter that was developed and published by Ubisoft. I picked it up at a local pawn shop for about $2, and it's only retailing for about $5 at the moment. Now this title I have very fond memories for, and I used to play an absolute ton of it on the Xbox 360. So you can most definitely expect me to cover and play this game at some point later in the future. It's one that for me is very deserving of being experienced again. Additionally, seeing if the game still holds up might be pretty interesting. Another new one to the collection is the game Tomb Raider Underworld for the Xbox 360. It's an adventure game that was developed by Crystal Dynamics and published by Eidos Interactive. I picked it up from a local pawn shop for $2, and it's retailing for a respectable $10. In all honesty, I've never really been a big Tomb Raider guy. No reason in particular, it's just a franchise that I never got around to playing or had any sort of interest in. So this is not a game that's on my immediately to be played list, but if it is one you guys would like played or covered in some sort of way, please comment down below and I will most definitely consider it. Let's spooky up this video game pickups video and add in a copy of Dead Space 3 Limited Edition on the Xbox 360 to my collection. This survival horror game was developed by Visceral Games, rest in peace Visceral. It was also published by EA. I picked up this copy from a local pawn shop for about $2, and it's only retailing for maybe $6. If you don't know about me, Dead Space 1 and 2 are two of my favorite survival horror games. So yes, I have already played Dead Space 3, and let's just say I'll save my opinion for that game for another time. Oh, would you look at that, October is right around the corner. No promises. Next up, I picked up a copy of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games for the Nintendo Wii. It is a party game that was developed and published by Sega and Nintendo. I got this game from a local pawn shop for about $2, and it's retailing for a decent $10 right now. This is another one of those titles for me where I don't think I'm going to make any plans to play it, but if it is one you guys would like to see, feel free to let me know, and maybe at some point you can persuade me otherwise. Next up, I picked up a copy of a game called The Getaway for the PlayStation 2. It's an action game that was developed by Team Soho and published by Sony. I picked it up at a local thrift store for about $3, and it's retailing for about $9. Now this game to me is quite intriguing. It looks very similar to something like GTA or maybe a Max Payne or possibly Mafia. So color me interested, and I think you can definitely expect me to play this one at some point. Newly added to the collection is a game called Hotshots Golf 3 for the PlayStation 2. Also, being named Everybody's Golf in Japan, this golf game was developed by Clap Hands and published by Sony. I procured this title from a local thrift store for about $3, and it's only retailing for about $4. A little known fact about me is that I love golf games. Granted, I prefer the more realistic ones, but I do play some of the cartoony ones from time to time, and I did play a lot of Hotshots Golf back in the days, so you can probably expect me to cover this game in some form at some point, along with the game that's next on my list. That's right, we got another golf title. This time the game is called Swing Away Golf for the PlayStation 2. This What Else golf game was developed by T&E Soft and published by EA. I picked it up from a local thrift store for about $2 and it's retailing for a very small $4. Once again, Misa loved golf games, so Misa might play at some point. I added a copy of Silent Scope 1 to my collection for the PlayStation 2. It is a rail shooter that was developed and published by Konami. I got this game from a local thrift store for about $2 and it's retailing for about $7. For me, I don't have a ton of experience playing on-rail shooter type games. I think the only one I can remember playing a lot with my brother was the game Virtua Cop back on the Sega Saturn. So again, this genre isn't something I'm heavily invested in, but who knows, maybe that's the reason it might be fun to give these games a try. I have the first and the third, I'm still missing Silent Scope 2, so we'll see. Let's blast right into this next pickup of The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron Jet Fusion. This adventure game on the PlayStation 2 was developed by Helix and published by THQ. I bought this at a local game store for $4 and it's retailing for about $8 right now. Absolutely no shame, I am actually a huge fan of the Jimmy Neutron cartoon show. I used to watch the show and I watched the movie actually pretty often. So you can most definitely expect me to play this game at some point, and the same goes for the next game. To go along with the previous pickup, I added the game The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Attack of the Twonkies. It's a PlayStation 2 game that was developed and published by THQ. This adventure game I picked up from a local game store for $4 and it's retailing for about $8 at the moment. To reiterate, I love Jimmy Neutron and I'm probably going to play this at some point in the future. To counterattack the two Nickelodeon games that I picked up prior, I also added a Disney game. Kim Possible What's the Switch is an adventure game on the PlayStation 2 that was developed by Behavior Interactive and published by Disney. I picked it up at a thrift store near me for $3 and it's retailing for about $13 at the moment. Me personally, I'm a bit unfamiliar with Kim Possible, so I'm not really looking to jump into this game immediately, but if it's one you guys would like to see me play or cover in some way, please let me know and reach out in the comments. In very interesting fashion, I added a game called Pitfall: The Lost Expedition on the PlayStation 2. It's a platformer that was developed by Edge of Reality and published by Activision. I picked it up at a local thrift store for $3 and it's retailing for about $13. This game I'm actually super intrigued by. It's one that I've absolutely never heard of, and seeing it in the thrift store made me kind of go, ooh, what's that? Judging from some videos, the gameplay and animations look kind of wonky, which I don't know, for me looks a bit endearing, so color me curious and it's definitely one I want to play. Oh man, I picked up another new copy of The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, this time for the Nintendo Switch. This RPG is developed and published by Bethesda. I got it at a local pawn shop for about $15 and it's retailing at about $38. Skyrim for me is a game that really means a lot, and it's definitely among some of my favorite games of all time. So it's as of no surprise that this is maybe my 4th or 5th different kind of copy or version of the game. With all that said, I have played Skyrim quite a few times already, but if it is a game you guys would like me to cover or to review at some point, please let me know. Something I've been really wanting to add to my collection is a physical copy of Animal Crossing New Horizons for the Nintendo Switch. It's a sim game that was developed and published by Nintendo. I got this copy at a local pawn shop for about $30 and it's retailing at about $38. So not necessarily a great pickup in terms of value, but it's a game I got tired of really passing up on, so I figured why not, let's bite the bullet. Now, I did already buy a digital copy on my Switch a long time ago, so yes, I have played the game, but if it is a game maybe sometime down the line you guys would like me to turn into some kind of series, let me know down in the comments. Next up, I happily picked up a copy of Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury for the Nintendo Switch. It is a platformer that was developed and published by Nintendo. I bought this game at a local pawn shop for $30 and it's retailing at about $41 right now. Now, I never got around to playing the original Super Mario 3D World, so I was actually really happy to find this copy at 30 bucks. And this is a title that's actually pretty high on my to-play list right now. Alrighty, and my final pickup for the month of July is a Nintendo Switch copy of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. This adventure game was developed and published by Nintendo, and I picked it up at a local GameStop a few days after the game's release. I of course paid $60 for it, so its retail value has probably already dipped a little bit since then, so it's probably only about a $50 to $55 game now at the moment. As for covering the game in some sort of way, I'm actually currently playing the game, if you didn't know. I'll put a link above to some of my streams of me playing it, and for the most part I'm enjoying it so far, and I definitely think you guys can expect a review on the game whenever I'm done playing it. Well, those were my pickups for the month of July. As you can tell, it was a really great month in terms of getting PS2 and Switch games, of which as of late I have been really killing it in terms of picking up Switch titles, which is pretty awesome considering not that long ago my Switch collection was pretty small. I would say from these additions I made, the thing I'm most excited about is there's a large amount of games in these that I've shown that are titles that I definitely want to play and touch on, which is super exciting. If you guys didn't know, this video game pickup series that I like to do every month is one of my favorite continuous video series that I like working on. So do me a favor, if you guys like it as much as I do, please hit that like button. And I would love to hear back about your thoughts as to whether you liked my video, or I'd love to hear any of your critiques. Whatever it is, I'm open for it. And with that, I just want to say, as always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you, please be safe. And I cannot wait to deliver you guys another video or stream or some other form of ChazmaN. Thanks again, and I guess, I don't know, keep it frosty. Hey now, I see you made it through the video and liked or even possibly loved it. Well, if you want to see any more additional content or you'd like to get into contact with me, consider checking out some of my social medias right here. And if you'd like to go above and beyond and want to support my channel monetarily, here is also a couple places where you can do so. And if nothing else, simply liking, sharing, and subscribing would make me the happiest ChazmaN on the planet.